Coming up, Tzu Chi volunteers in Malaysia hand out consolation cash to families affected by recent strong wind. And new college graduates in Taiwan get ready to leave schools and hunt for jobs. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Helen. Now, thank you for joining us. On June 2nd, fierce winds swiped through Malaysia's Johor, knocking out the electricity and damaging home in a local community in Kluang. Hearing the news, local Tzu Chi volunteers mobilized to conduct a disaster survey and hand out consolation cash for the 200 affected families.
On the evening of June 2nd, fierce winds swept through Kluang of Malaysia's Johor. The wind also led to power outages. Hearing the news, Tzu Chi volunteers quickly came to offer their assistance. The next day, Tzu Chi volunteers resumed their disaster survey. 25 volunteers separated into 8 teams to visit the families affected by the disaster.
This is something that I've only seen on TV. I'm relieved that my children are safe. It doesn't matter that things are broken. As long as people are safe, everything else is minor.
In my 56 years, this is the first time I have seen a tornado. People don't believe it, but tornadoes can hit Malaysia as well. It's very scary.
The violent wind damaged over 200 homes, with the majority of the disaster survivors being Chinese Malaysian. After receiving the name list of all those affected, Tzu Chi volunteers quickly began to hand out consolation cash.
I'm very grateful for the assistance. I haven't resumed work yet, so your financial aid can help make ends meet.
I've received Tzu Chi's assistance in the past. Now that my community has been struck by this disaster, Tzu Chi is here once more to help. I want to thank all of the Tzu Chi volunteers on behalf of the community. During the distribution, residents not only felt the love and respect from the volunteers, but also learned from the volunteers how to let go and bravely face the future ahead.
Moving to the United States, in May of this year, Texas experienced record rainfall, which resulted in the worst floods in the history of the state. Tzu Chi volunteers there recently organized a distribution for those affected by the flood. Let's take a look.
Overnight, the entire state of Texas was submerged. Homes were washed away by ruthless floods.
We've lived in that house for 50 years. All the furniture, all the appliances, everything.
David shows us a picture of where his newly built home once stood.
The house is gone. The water came up about 5 or 6 feet over my roof.
Tzu Chi volunteers brought over eco-friendly blankets and conducted a distribution inside a Catholic church. While respectfully handing over blankets, volunteers also offer their sympathies to the flood survivors.
I feel good. I enjoyed it. It was nice, and I was received very, very well. People came and spoke to me and made me feel welcome.
To feel that you are some kind of source to do something for them.
Seizing the opportunity to pay their love forward, many residents donated their spare change to help people in need.
Because y'all helped us, we wanted to give back. So we went and we just looked through everything, got whatever change we had, everything we could find, and we put it in here and we brought it right back.
Recollecting the senseless tragedy, residents could no longer hold back their tears. Volunteers can only offer a sympathetic ear and a shoulder to lean on. In the days ahead, Tzu Chi will continue to be there as needed.
In Kaohsiung City, on the evening of June 7th, a gas leak was reported near the site of the 2014 gas explosions. The city government's Fire Bureau and Environmental Protection Bureau responded by immediately forming a command center and sealing off the roads to locate the faulty pipeline. The source of the gas leak was detected and repaired by 2:30 a.m., after which fearful residents could finally return home.
Firefighters rushed to the scene while city officials tried to locate the leaking pipeline.
有一个点，它的浓度是一直降不下来，那已经持续了将近1个多小时。就先关。那超过5000 ppm.
As officials debated about the possible location of the leaking pipeline, residents grew more and more anxious.
11点多来，就消防车11点多来的。
11点多了哈。 那你现在回去也没有电，冷气吹？
没有电啊。
几点开始没电的？1点了。啊，今晚你起来多少钟了？
当然会怕啊，因为已经在前面的那个海田路那边已经气爆过一次了。
As the gas leak was near the site of 2014 Kaohsiung gas explosions, firefighters and officials immediately sealed off nearby roads, sprayed water to lower the gas concentration, and after locating the faulty pipeline, they shut it off to conduct repairs. Anxious residents returned home after the repairs were completed and electricity was restored by 2 a.m. Although the gas leak did not lead to other accidents this time, it is crucial to prevent such incidents from happening again.
As the school year winds down here in Taiwan, new college graduates are anxious to land a job. Thankfully, statistics show that there are 75,000 more jobs this year compared to the last, with a total of over 450,000 job openings to choose from. It looks like this year's graduates are the luckiest bunch in the past 19 years.
所以我们现在就是在找一群各位台下的同学，你们有非常好的语言的能力。
下一位，我们这边请哦。
Formally dressed, soon-to-be college graduates go on interviews to try to land a job. Meanwhile, the financial industry is holding recruiting seminars and on-site interviews on campuses to entice the graduating class to join the industry. I am an accounting major, so the finance industry would be very close to what I already know. I am also very interested in banking and have been getting certificates and licenses on financial consulting.
我们在人才的招募上面比以前更积极。那最主要是我们的点拓展的真的非常非常的快。
As the school year ends in Taiwan, companies flock to campuses to recruit new graduates. According to the Labour Department, there are 2.25 jobs available per one new graduate, while online job banks show that there are over 660,000 job openings in May, of which 450,000 openings cater specifically to new graduates. Also, the average starting monthly salary for new graduates has increased about 3% to $856. The new graduates this year have 75,000 more jobs to choose from compared to the last year, so they have more opportunities. Also, 53% of companies are saving some of their jobs for new graduates specifically. The high-tech industry is recruiting the most this year, while the manufacturing, wholesale, and retail industries are also actively recruiting. New graduates, however, should remember to treasure the 3-month golden period of job hunting. The best time for new graduates to land a job is between 1 month before their graduation and 2 months after graduation. Just exactly what type of career skills should one possess in the real world? I think that we new graduates may be able to communicate normally with others. Talking to CEOs and CFOs can be intimidating.
You gotta be passionate and aggressive about your job. You gotta prepare yourself mentally. Teamwork always beats working alone.
If new graduates do not want to be classified as unemployed after graduating, experts recommend that they fully prepare themselves and cherish every opportunity in order to land their dream job.
We have more reports on landing the right job. To really get the job they want, some people are willing to attend career cram schools, such as the popular flight attendant cram schools. However, for those with limited budget, new graduates can utilize the services offered by their school's career placement centers, while others can turn to the government-run youth salon for free career planning and placement.
你好，我是来自世新大学的王波祥。对，那今年刚从世新大学毕业。
In this mock interview at Tzu Chi University in Taipei, a new graduate is trying to make an impression. Here, all new graduates like him will learn to write resumes and how to interact during an interview.
We ask real-world human resource directors to come and help our new graduates on a one-on-one basis. The sessions will last about half an hour and offer customization according to the needs of each graduate.
To help battle rising unemployment rates in Japan, there are now cram schools that help young people land the job they want. Taiwan also has similar programs, such as the Youth Salon run by the government, that provides career planning and placement.
Job seekers should make an effort to learn about the industry they are targeting and the responsibilities of the job they are looking for. We can help them in this area.
Many young people also attend English cram schools or get a license in financial planning to beef up their resume. Flight attendant cram schools have been quite popular lately, and each session costs anywhere from $120 to $2,000. Typically, the students get to choose when the class is held. Content includes proper etiquette for a flight attendant, how to dress and apply makeup properly, knowledge on the aviation industry, and most importantly, English conversation.
The test for international airlines includes group discussions, debates, and role-playing. It also includes storytelling and reacting to pictures. That just about covers the English part of the test for international airlines.
While 60% of the class are new graduates, the rest are people seeking career changes or are currently unemployed. By investing in themselves, they hope to nail the job they want.
A foreign spouse from Vietnam, Song Hui-yi, has been caring for her husband who fell into a coma 5 years ago while supporting her family at the same time, which has touched and inspired many people. Here's more.
Married to a Taiwanese 15 years ago, Song Hui-yi from Vietnam was in search of happiness when her life changed suddenly 5 years ago after her husband fell into a coma.
I am the sole breadwinner now, and I have to care for my husband while supporting his parents and our child.
Though life is hard, Hui-yi never gives up and manages to support a family of 4 and pay for her husband's medical bills with her meager income from working at a factory.
When he was in critical condition at the hospital, the doctor asked me if I wanted to give up. I said no, we must try to save him. I refused to give up.
Thanks to public donations, her husband was transferred to a caring home.
He has been here for a while, and his wife takes the bus to come visit him every 2 to 3 days. We are very touched by the bond between them.
Hui-yi's love for her husband also touched the president of the Uri Lions Club.
It must be hard for her because coma patients need long-term care.
In spite of the difficulties she faces, Hui-yi has felt the love and care of many kind people in Taiwan, the place she now calls home.
At the Soyambunna Ten community in Nepal, Pasam Lamat, a Tibetan, has emerged as a prominent figure. He first came into contact with Tzu Chi while helping out at a hot meal preparation for residents at the Ten community. Now that he has signed up for Tzu Chi's volunteer training, Pasam made a decision to embrace Tzu Chi's humanitarian culture and cut his long hair short, breaking an old Tibetan tradition which requires both men and women wear their hair long.
A Tibetan, Pasang Lama, is always seen wearing a long ponytail, as it is an old tradition in Tibetan culture for men and women to wear their hair long. Pasang's affinity with Tzu Chi arose following the earthquake. Notice anything different about Pasang? His long hair is gone.
I am a Tibetan. In my religion, we should keep our long hair. Especially now, I joined a Tzu Chi Foundation. So in a Tzu Chi Foundation, if I join Tzu Chi Foundation, and what I feel, it's not good to keep a long hair. That is, I feel that. So I cut myself.
Pasang has been growing his hair for 15 years. However, now that he has signed up for volunteer training, he made a decision to embrace Tzu Chi's humanitarian culture and cut his long hair.
When I look a mirror, then I feel myself wow, I'm become changed, so young. So I feel very happy. I cut hair, I do right things.
Pasang also previously brought a woman who was in desperate need of dialysis to a Tzu Chi free clinic. After Dr. Liao conducted an initial evaluation, Tzu Chi decided to subsidize the cost of the woman's dialysis. As soon as the woman heard this, she instantly broke down in tears and expressed her deepest gratitude to Tzu Chi and Master Zheng Yan. In this quake-torn land, it is these random acts of kindness that brings out the true beauty of humanity.
After discovering an outbreak of headlines in several Tent communities sheltering displaced quake survivors, a group of Tzu Chi volunteers in Nepal arrived at the Suayam Buna Tent community to carry out headlines removal on behalf of residents, as well as to raise awareness on the importance of personal hygiene and sanitation.
Tzu Chi's medical team has arrived at the Suayam Bunath tent community, bringing with them medication to treat the residents' head lice problems. If one person in the family has head lice, then the whole family should be treated. Normally, the average person will require just one dose of treatment in order to remove the lice infestation. But for residents here, the majority of whom have long hair and a larger infestation, 2 dosages are needed. Tzu Chi volunteers and Nepalese volunteers work together as a team to serve the residents. This family of 6 has just arrived in Suayam Bunath, and volunteers have already discovered that the entire family, with the exception of the baby, are infected with head lice. Since the quake, the family has been living in unsanitary conditions, which is what caused the lice infestation. My scalp itches so badly at night I cannot sleep. Once medication has been applied, a plastic cover is placed over the resident's scalp for 20 minutes, followed by a thorough wash. Now that this woman's head is lice-free, joy can be seen written all over her face. Now that their head lice problems have been eliminated, residents can finally get a good night's rest.
In the wake of the tremors in Nepal, a baby boy had been taking shelter at the Libadli Tent community with his family. Last week, however, the baby's mother accidentally fractured the little boy's right leg, and without proper treatment, the boy's right leg had become seriously swollen. To help, Tzu Chi volunteers took the baby to the Mayapur hospital, where he received much-needed medical attention. As soon as an aftershock occurs, quake survivors living in the Libadli Tent community in Nepal quickly run to an open field. This worried mother is not frightened by the aftershocks, but because her baby has been crying non-stop. The baby was accidentally injured by his older brother, who left him with a fractured right leg. However, for treatment, the baby only received a simple bandage. Upon learning of the situation, Tzu Chi volunteers quickly took the baby to Mayapur Hospital to receive proper treatment. Outside of the operating room, Tzu Chi volunteers wait anxiously for the results.
Everyone knows how to fight for survival. This baby doesn't know because he is still very young. I will feel guilty for the rest of my life if his leg cannot be saved.
Due to a delay in treatment, the boy's right leg had become seriously swollen. To stabilize the injury, doctors put on a cast from the boy's waist to his right leg and a wooden plank for further support.
After 7 days, we will look at the x-rays to check on how the bone is healing. The baby needs to come back to the hospital every week. In 6 weeks, he can remove the cast.
According to Dr. Shuritha, a fracture could cause leg length discrepancy in the future. Therefore, the medical team decided to stabilize the wound first and let the baby's bone heal itself.
Thank you.
We couldn't afford the surgery. Thank you, Tzu Chi, for helping my son. I'm extremely happy.
With Tzu Chi volunteers by her side, Sarmila Boyo finally breaks into a smile because she knows that her baby is now in good hands. Recently, Tzu Chi's disaster relief and medical team in Nepal donated 10 first aid kits to 5 local schools to ensure that the students' medical needs are taken care of now that school has started once more.
This one, small size. Big one.
3 Tzu Chi doctors are personally shopping in a pharmacy in Nepal to make first aid kits.
And this one?
Next, they head to another pharmacy to purchase eye drops.
I want 10. 10. Do you have 10?
The doctors are going out of their way to make sure these first aid kits are well stocked, so that they may serve the 5 nearby schools that they are going to.
It's basically a first aid kit with some frequently used medicine.
Fearing that they have not purchased enough items, the Tzu Chi doctors asked Dr. Nirdesh to double-check their purchase.
Maybe we can put some cough tablet and allergy tablet.
Oh, allergy tablet.
And antihistamine.
In 2 days, the doctors purchased enough items to fill 10 sets of first aid kits, which were later all given to nearby schools. Tzu Chi also donated large tents to the schools so that the children may be protected from the elements while learning.
While Tzu Chi's disaster relief and medical team in Nepal has been aiding quake survivors directly, volunteers in different countries continue to raise funds to support the relief effort. The Tzu Chi Japan chapter recently held a charity auction where volunteers and the students at the Chinese class sold handicrafts and glutinous rice dumplings to gather more funds and good wishes for the needy people in Nepal. Let's take a look.
At this charity sale in Japan, these young students overcame their shyness to attract customers. These students of Tzu Chi Japan's Chinese class are both vendors as well as customers. Some parents even donated handicrafts to help this charity sale too.
Some parents donated handmade earrings for the charity sale. They hope to help raise funds to help Nepal.
The fundraiser organized by Tzu Chi Japan features many of the children's cherished toys, while these 3 children went to different floors to canvass for donations.
I think participation is very important because if you just talk about helping Nepal, the kids don't really understand. I think what's successful today is that they actually sold things and donated the money to help people in Nepal.
While children try to put their best foot forward in this second fundraiser for Nepal, Tzu Chi volunteers also sold a large number of rice dumplings.
I thought I could sell 20 of them in an hour, but by 1 p.m. I actually sold more than 100 of them. I am really excited as I did not expect them to sell so well.
By pooling everyone's love to help Nepal, the volunteers have taught the children a precious lesson about helping the needy and putting their love into action.
Since 2007, Tzu Chi volunteers in Northern California, the United States, have been donating vegetables and fruits they collect from a local farmers market in Cupertino every week to the West Valley Community Services to give low-income households the chance to enjoy freshly grown produce. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. Goodbye.